Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto, where we take the market one leg at a time while keeping the market cycle in mind. And right now, that market cycle is showing its bearishness. We're sitting under the 6850 key support level that really needed to hold to kind of give the bulls a little bit of hope here. For those of you that are still bullish, I just don't quite see what you see in the charts. Now, just so you guys know, my general trading style is intermediate term swing trading, okay, or long term swing trading. But I'm not a hodler. I don't just buy something and never touch it again. That's not my investing style. My investing style is I go with the market trying to look. If we're going to drop 70% in Bitcoin, I don't feel like dropping 70%. So when I say that, there's no hope for the bulls, what I mean is in the intermediate term future. In 2030, pretty sure we're above $6,700. But here in 2018 and for the foreseeable future, yeah, we're going to be below that whatever level you have penned for your mind there in Bitcoin. So just wanted to get that out there. I think some people don't quite understand my time frame when I talk about things. Um, so first things first, we had the top here at 8,500, respecting the 200-day moving average, failing it and rolling over, subsequently failing this 6850 level. And failing this level is pretty key. There's no major support down here. We're not seeing really inflated volume or a really jumping price. It's going to be difficult, I think, for us to get back above it. In fact, if we do get up towards 6850, probably is going to be a decent place to take a short position. In fact, if you go to the smaller term time frames, you've actually already had a throwback to the what is it, about $6,800 level. You can kind of see it right there, kind of almost touching 6,800 bucks. So we've already had a throwback to that level that has failed so far, and so we'll see how this plays out going forward. But this is not bullish action, not bullish action. So for everyone telling you guys just to buy Bitcoin, let me know down below why they're saying that, because I'm not seeing in the charts apparently what they're seeing in the charts. As a matter of fact, we've been pretty bearish ever since. I'm going to draw a vertical line for you. Since this big red volume candle, I'm just going to draw it there on the chart so it's really easy for everyone to see. And that's really when the market turned. We failed to go higher. We tried here, and we never even got back above that point. And I think that's important. Once we crossed here, we never really even got, I mean, we got close, but we never crossed this trend line, not one time. Not one time. In the prior high towards 10,000, we did have a fake out to the upside. You can see here's kind of a cup with your handle here, and then we had an up thrust. Unfortunately, it failed and we rolled right over. But we didn't even have the strength to try over here. And ever since then, it's just been a series of lower highs, a double top here, and then the immediate rollover. Now, for those of you not aware, there was an announcement that the SEC has delayed the ETF decision until basically a month or 2 months from now. And I guess people don't like that, so they sold it off. That shows you what retail investors and bear markets do. No professional. This is not professional selling. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Professional selling does not sell like this off of news. A professional usually will know what the news is before it even comes out and will trade accordingly beforehand. And so, maybe they sold up here, the professionals, but this is based off of retail people and their hopes being dashed of that ETF decision going on, and you see the subsequent sell-off there in big volume. And the red volume is very pervasive in recent history since this high. And breaking the 6850 level on such high volume does not bode well for the uptrend overall. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's healthy at all. It looks like we're headed lower. So where does that mean, headed lower? Because a lot of people are going to say, well, Randy, where's the low? Are we going to go to 3,000? What about your $2,400 to $3,600 target? Let's draw a couple lines here because that's what I do. Okay, so we have our support line right here, right at about $5,800, depending on what you want to call it. These undercut a little bit, that's fine. We're also in the middle of a pretty big, well-defined downtrend. All right, now at some point we're going to pause. We're probably not going to go straight through this level. We're going to have a little pause. If you remember, when we crossed this upward sloping trend line, we had a very nice, well-defined bear flag that we cataloged here at Real Crypto. It was right there. My feeling right now, and you know how I feel about feelings, I don't put much stock into them, but when we do get some kind of a pause, it's just the market feels extremely similar to this sell down. If you notice, there's a drop, a bigger consolidation, a drop, and a bigger consolidation, and we have something similar here. We have very similar price action. So it looks like we do one more egregious drop, which we're in the middle of now, and then when this is done, we may go into some sideways and maybe a bear flag action. We may mimic this almost verbatim. I say almost verbatim because nothing's for certain in the market, but it's just one of those things where it just doesn't look very healthy. To be honest with you, just doesn't look healthy at all. And so I think we're going to head lower. I think we're going to form some kind of a bear flag down here. That's my general thesis. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw this. I'm going to draw this so the bottom kind of lines up with this low and this low. I think that's where people are naturally going to want to look for support, and you'll probably see some buying. So at some point we're going to see a bear flag. It takes some shape or form. I don't know if it's going to be a symmetrical triangle. I don't know if it's going to be an upward sloping channel. Could be a broadening wedge. I mean, there's a number of things that could happen. And this isn't the game I usually play, guys. I don't usually do this, so just bear with me here. But if you're wondering where we could go, this is how I think this may play out. If we get a bear flag that goes down to about this level, you take the measured move off of this. Let's say we get up there. That takes us right here to about the $4,800 level, give or take, which is actually right in line with where we were coming out of this bear flag. If you remember, I had a video where I was 97% sure that we were going to go down to Bitcoin 5,000. Well, 97% didn't quite work out so well, but you can see right there both of these moves. Now again, I'm pulling this out of thin air, guys. I don't know how this is going to react. I have no idea, but this is just a possibility in the markets going forward, and this would give us a clear break of this 5,800 level, which means that this is a very natural oscillating movement between the high at 11,775, the high at 10,000, and then another high at the 8,500 level. All right, very, very well defined. I wonder if that's 14%. I'm curious if that's a percentage. Look at that, almost exactly. These highs have each 14.86%, 14.8. Holy bejesus, guys. These are almost locked. I bet you if I go to a log chart, look at that. They're like dead even. Yeah, so looks like this is a very normalized, and I don't know why I didn't think about doing that before. Maybe I could have called the top and sounded really smart. But anyway, from a percentage basis, you can see these are, in fact, in lockstep. This is a continuation of a downtrend. This is, in fact, has nothing to do with the market going bullish. So looks like downside is the direction. That's pretty much all I can conclude at this moment in time. Increased volume ever since that line that I just took off of the chart. And here we go. So that's pretty much it for Bitcoin. I think we have a kind of phantom implied move down to 4,800, which still continues this trend here. Something moving in lockstep here. And next, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the top altcoins. So in the Real Crypto Power Hour, every single day we go through Bitcoin, we go through the top coins here on GDAX, and then we go through the Power Hour spreadsheet. So I'm going to go through these top altcoins with you, and something broke in the markets that we were talking about in the Power Hour today that hadn't broken yet, and it really has to do with Ethereum, not Bitcoin Cash. It has to do with Ethereum. There was a possibility that all these top altcoins had a potential buyable setup here. Obviously, that was negated, but we took out recent lows in Ethereum, and I think this is very important. If you caught my last video about the pattern in all the top altcoins, this is a breakdown of those patterns that probably will start to continue. So we have Ethereum here broke down about 6%, 6.5%. And look at the volume. They're greatly increased over recent low volume history. and moving into recent new lows. Now there's a support point here at about 350 of this ultimate low, and if Bitcoin's going to come and flag out, I'm assuming Ethereum will do something very similar. Now let's go back to the daily chart, and you'll see on the daily chart I've got a few lines here. I'll explain what they mean. So this purple line, pink line, whatever you want to call it, which I think looks really good on the chart, is extrapolated from the bear flag here, giving you a measured move of about $85 in Ethereum. Now that does seem extremely weak, but keep in mind we've already dropped from $1,400 down to $378. So there is a possibility we can get to $85 in Ethereum, whether you believe it or not, whether I believe it or not, because honestly it seems pretty egregiously bearish. That'd be an additional 78%. And if that happens, the overall drop, and that's actually not quite the top. There's the top. That would be an overall 93% drop. That seems very extreme to me. Usually things that drop 93% never come back. I'm not saying that's the way with Ethereum. I'm simply saying for most like crap coins, you know, most like horrible coins in the you know, out of the top 100 in coin market cap that go down 93% don't come back. They just really don't. If Ethereum goes down 93%, I may just have to be a buyer, to be honest with you, because that's, I mean, even if you wait, you know, even if you wait 2 or 3 or 4 years for this to come back to all-time highs, I'll take a 1,500% gain over a number of years. I'm not too mad at that. But, you know, breaking this bear flag in Ethereum, and then subsequently this little consolidation, really not doing healthy things. And I didn't notice it till just now. You see this long blue trend line here? I have going all the way back. All right, come on, price. I'm not trying to give you guys vertigo. You can see here I have it holding these 2 points, which is kind of the, I could have drawn this one, but it gets really low, and maybe there's something to that if I draw this here. But you know, you can draw a myriad of trend lines here, but I drew this one because it was 2 very obvious points at the low, and we actually just bounced right off of that here recently, almost right on it. And remember I mentioned in my last video, if we break the bear flag, we're in real danger of taking this trend line out, and that would be bad. And it would be bad, and it looks like it could be bad. So if this continues, that is not a good thing. Litecoin showing very similar action, breaking that channel level. And if you, I'm not even going from the ultimate high here because I think this takes you into negative price territory, which obviously isn't very realistic. We can't have like negative $30 in Litecoin. So yeah, this measured move implies a negative $14 in Litecoin. So obviously that's not going to happen. But if you take a measured move from here, then that takes us down to $41 in Litecoin, which is a lot more fathomable, a lot more feasible than negative $10 Litecoin. So Litecoin breaking a level, there's a trend line here too that is not on this chart for whatever reason, but this has obviously been broken right there. We talked about this breaking in real time and breaking these levels again, taking out recent lows, continually moving into new lows. Look at the volume. There's no support here for Litecoin, just continuously making lows. That is not a good thing. And Litecoin is kind of the sentiment indicator for Bitcoin. Keep that in mind. It's pretty much led Bitcoin down in every move. Every time Bitcoin was really bullish, Litecoin never really was and just rolled over. Usually it showed weakness first. So Litecoin will show weakness before Bitcoin shows weakness. That has been the trend throughout this entire, I would say the latter half of this bear market. That has been true and has been the case. So Litecoin not looking good there. And Bitcoin Cash, which usually trades pretty closely to Bitcoin, not taking out massive levels yet, but you can see here it's in danger of taking out this most recent low. And if it does that, then I think it's only a matter of time until Bitcoin fails the ultimate 5,800 low, and then down we go. So I have a trend line here off of this bear flag, off of this move here. Again, not the full move because I think that would also take us into negative territory, which obviously isn't going to happen. Negative $326, probably not going to happen. So this one taking us to positive $324. And, so maybe that could be an ultimate low for Bitcoin Cash, or at least the next leg low. We'll have to see what happens down there. But You know, we've come down quite a distance in this bear market, guys. It feels like there's nowhere left for altcoins to go. It feels, you know, a lot of people feel like there's a floor in altcoins. Unfortunately, the top altcoins don't really show that story. They're not really sharing the sentiment. And let's look at EOS here, down about 7%. Let's go to the daily. So there's that long-term trend line in EOS, and we just broke that definitively. Higher volume. Looks like we're breaking this most recent low, or in danger of breaking this most recent low. Looks like we've barely taken it out. Breaking a little bear flag setup here. And right now we're sitting right on that low. So the low here is $6.55, and we're at $6.57. So we're just above that low. We did spike beneath it. So you can see, guys, these top altcoins are not in a good position. None of them are doing very good. You've got XRP actually breaking from a trend line that we've been discussing in the Power Hour for a long time. Egregiously breaking that trend line, now at 37. This was 42 was the support level. That has been broken, breaking very, very long-term support here in XRP. That is not a good thing. And so we're seeing a further breakdown in these major altcoins. So please pay attention. Please don't play the hero and bottom buy. You want to wait for confirmation or some kind of a bullish setup. You know, everyone says, "Oh, $1 was a bargain for Ripple because at one point in time, you know, it was $3." Well, that's not necessarily the case, as we discussed in the last video and this video as well. So please be careful, guys. Please, please, please be careful. This is a dangerous market situation. If this turns around out of nowhere, fine, I'm the idiot. I'll accept that responsibility. But that is not the norm. The norm is that this type of action begets more downside action. That is what's normal. Very rarely have I ever seen just egregious downside movement immediately reverse. The only time it would do that is on a major, and I mean a very, very major fundamental news announcement. And in cryptocurrency, I don't know what that catalyst would be. I'm just not quite sure what that would be. So, all right, guys, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. Please go ahead and join me in our Slack chat room. If you guys don't know about our Slack chat room, we have a free Slack chat room where you can join traders and talk about bullish markets and bearish markets or where you think it's going to go. You can sign up right here on the home page, enter your name, your email, your trading experience so I can know a little more about you, and then you can go ahead and get into that chat room right there. If you're interested in some more analysis from myself and the community and some longer term views, shorter term views, if you need some help with strategies, trading positions, anything like that, check out our services section where we go over pretty much everything in trading during the Real Crypto Power Hour. We're also doing a Real Stocks Power Hour, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're interested in the stock market, if you need to know more about it, if you are already trading, you know, please consider subscribing to the Real Stocks Power Hour, guys. We go through the markets 5 days a week, and we'll talk about a myriad of topics, anything from setting up accounts to, you know, even margin trading and things like that, things of that nature, how to actually evaluate stocks. The stock market, you talk about manipulation in cryptocurrencies, ladies and gentlemen, the stock market is much more manipulated than the cryptocurrency market. So I don't want to hear another thing about manipulation from anyone in cryptocurrencies. It's non-existent. So anyway, guys, join me here. I'd like to see you guys in the rooms. Thank you very much for joining me here today. If you like the video, subscribe to the content. Thank you very much. Be safe. Have a good day.